What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Vancouver Canucks having now signed not just Braden Coots, but they've now also signed their second round pick, Alexei Medvedev, to a 3-year entry level contract. Yes, I'm a couple of days late on this, but yesterday I was busy and out and about when I heard this news break. I believe this was Thursday night. I was actually seeing the new Superman movie, and then yesterday I was working, so that's why there was no videos yesterday. But I wanted to do this and talk about Alexei Medvedev and him being signed to a 3-year entry level contract. But before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to my sponsor, Gassy Jack Art, maker of that incredible artwork you see there behind me. And you guys can check him out at gassyjackart.com. You can also find him on Instagram. He does still have his end of season sale going on where you can buy 2 prints and get an additional 2 prints for free. So go ahead and check him out, gassyjackart.com. So let's go ahead and dive right into this article written by our friends at Canucks Army, and in particular written by friend of the show, friend of the podcast, David Cordrelli. Just a day after signing 15th overall pick Braden Coots, Vancouver Canucks have signed another one of their selections from the 2025 NHL entry draft. On Thursday, the club announced that they have signed goaltender Alexei Medvedev to a 3-year entry-level contract. Canucks general manager Patrick Allvin had this to say about Medvedev. Alexei is an important addition to our organizational depth and goal, and his signing is a great thing for our hockey club, said Allvin. He showed us a lot at development camp and has a bright future if he continues to build on his skill set and fundamentals. We look forward to monitoring his progress and helping him develop into a solid pro. The folks at Canucks Army are very high on Medvedev, apparently. I'm also going to read another article written by David Cordrelli, who basically explains why Medvedev is such a great signing for the Vancouver Canucks and why, in his opinion, the Canucks hit a home run with this signing. But we'll dive into that shortly after this. Next season, Medvedev will head back to the Memorial Cup champion London Knights, where he's currently slated to be, quote-unquote, the guy in the London goal crease after splitting starts as a 17-year-old last season. On top of their Memorial Cup win in 24-25, the Knights are coming off back-to-back OHL championships as well. Expectations are going to be high, and it's going to be interesting to see how Medvedev deals with that pressure this coming season. One thing to note about Coots and Medvedev signing ELCs, these contracts coming now essentially guarantee that these two players won't go to the NCAA, which could have made the Canucks wait longer for them to come play for their organization. Even worse, it would open the door for the players to walk themselves to free agency by refusing to sign with the Canucks and finishing out their collegiate careers instead. Both players will be at camp in the fall, and while they'll most likely be among the first cuts at camp, although Coots presents a bit of an interesting case, it's a big win for the Canucks to get both of these players signed to ELCs so shortly after drafting them. So moving on over to the other article talking about Alexei Medvedev and why David Cordrelli thinks the Canucks hit a home run with this signing. Their second selection of the 2025 NHL draft, the Vancouver Canucks selected goaltender Alexei Medvedev. We're going to skip down a bit. I will leave a link to the article in the description down below. Here, David Cordrelli mentions why the Canucks drafted Medvedev, at least according to the team itself, as well as the Canucks director of scouting, Todd Harvey. This is what he had to say. He's a calm kid, big kid, moves well in the net, and does never seem to get rattled. He has that presence in there that makes the team in front of you play a little calmer. We thought he was our guy. We kind of targeted that, and that was a good pick. This guy's a good goalie. We're pretty happy with him, and I think he's going to show next year that he's ready to take the workload. For him to take the net in London next year and run with it is going to be big for him and his development. Well, I mean, obviously, Ian Clark has a lot to say on who the Canucks decided to pick. We looked at the draft and he wanted this pick, and we thought it was the right time. And Clarky will be in touch with the goalies. I think we have a real good staff here for development and bringing him, as in Medvedev, along. He's going to have the net next year in London. And you never know, London, they always have a good team. So maybe they get back to a Memorial Cup. Now, if you think goalies are voodoo, try draft eligible goalies. Some of the biggest busts in teams' histories are highly touted goaltenders, and some of the game's greatest netminders of all time were late round diamonds in the rough. And the way that Quads looks at young goalies is with a scale of sorts. One end is all about their raw talents and intangibles like size, length, natural mobility, and things of that nature, while the other end of the scale is all about technique, their footwork, positioning, movements, and more. Back when he was the Canucks' director of goaltending, we were discussing the raw abilities of newly drafted Canucks prospect Aku Koskinen. Ian Clark once told Quads that he and his staff can teach technique in a weekend. While there's some hyperbole there, the point is that an important thing not to overlook when evaluating young goaltenders is what intangible abilities they possess. Even if the results aren't there just yet, thanks to some bad technique, how do they deal with broken plays? How quickly and efficiently can they push off to move laterally while already down in the butterfly when the chips are down and they need to make split-second adjustments and decisions? What do? How competitive are they? How much natural mobility do they possess? How much length do they have to work with? In the case of goaltenders like Archer Silovs, Aku Koskinen, and Tai Young, the Canucks drafted these players later in the draft in part because they were missing the advanced technical abilities that would lead to more success with their draft eligible teams, and thus a higher overall draft ranking among NHL teams. So, as we mentioned before, imagine a scale. One side says raw ability, and the other says technical ability. From our viewings of Medvedev, this goaltender lands right smack in the middle of that scale. Medvedev has a great mix of innate talent and refined skills, and in chatting with some folks from other teams, it would seem that my evaluation seems fairly accurate, as some viewed Medvedev as a raw talent, while others viewed him as a closer to a finished product. His reactions are quick, his feet are quick, and he's already well on his way to establishing himself as one of the game's top goaltending prospects. And there, as I mentioned, I'll leave a link to the article in the description down below, as there is a video, and Quads in this article really, implores you to watch the video, and he implores you to focus on Medvedev's puck tracking ability. His movements are calculated, balanced, and he rarely loses sight of the puck while he's moving. Note that his movements aren't body first either, with his eyes leading the way. That, along with how easy he makes most saves look, hints at the fact he's more refined than some of the goalies who typically go in the later rounds. But there is plenty of raw athletic ability in Medvedev's game that the Canucks are certainly itching to refine and harness into success. A big goaltender, Medvedev is listed at 6'2", but told reporters at the draft that he's now 6'3", and that he feels he could still grow even more. And why wouldn't he? He's 17 after all. Beyond Medvedev's undeniable athleticism and structured abilities, his age might be the biggest thing that gives him certified, quote-unquote, steal potential for the Canucks. Born on September 10th, 2007, Medvedev was 5 days away from being eligible for the 2026 NHL draft instead of 2025. Think about what his 2025-26 season is about to look like for a second. With Austin Elliott gone, the London Knights' crease should belong squarely to Medvedev this upcoming season. He'll be backstopping an always strong Knight squad and has potential to put up some serious eye-popping numbers. Where would he go in the draft if he were coming off a season like that? The answer is likely somewhere in the middle of the first round, but instead the Canucks got him at 17 years old during the 2025 draft. It will certainly be a fun exercise to look back on Medvedev's 25-26 season. I wonder where he would be rated if he were eligible for the 2026 NHL draft. And that is the end of the article. So once again, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. You guys can read it yourselves and check out that video that is posted in the article. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you guys agree with Quads on Medvedev being a home run hit for the Vancouver Canucks? After reading this, are you guys excited for Alexei Medvedev? And do you guys think that Medvedev could quite possibly be the goaltender of the future for the Vancouver Canucks? So yeah, if you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find us and interact with us on social media. Find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change. Find our Facebook page. Find us on Instagram at The Line Change. Find us on X at Line Change Van. Find us on TikTok at the TLC Podcast. You can also find us on Blue Sky at The Line Change. And feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to, once again, give us a follow, as well as rate and review us. It is greatly appreciated. That's going to do it for this video. As always, go Canucks go, and I'll see you guys in the next video.